Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Glad you're with us for another night of racing action here on Turn 1 with the Gelu-KC Cup Series here with Sim 500 on a Sunday night. Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid as they get ready to roll off here at New Hampshire. That's the wrong button. We do that a couple times a week. There we go. Robin Ferry the third and Joe Hudson going to be on the front row. Troy Hayes, John Fowler, Shannon Wood, your top five. Joseph Grijalva came back last week and won here, and now he's going to go back out and try to do it again. He's going to start sixth. Logan Koger, Jose Gonzalez, Joey Jatina, and Kevin Stone going to round out the first five rows. Jason White, Daniel Miller is going to start 12th, 13th. Frank Zinga, Brady Garand, Jacob Melton, Doug Ross, Scott Formosa, Glenn Campbell, Brent Scott, your top 19. Trevor Martin makes it, it's top 20 rather there, the Glenn Campbell. Brent Scott, Trevor Martin, Ron Holyfield, Michael Saylor, Zach Faldy's going to start 23rd. DeAndre Kane, Josh Freed, Donald Stone, Michael Sharp, Landon Audit, Doug Sigmund, Jeremy Rittenberg, starting back there in 30th. Mark Schrader, Steve Vest, Gary Wright, Daniel Dye round out this field here as they get ready to go green flag racing in Lobsterland. As I told the drivers in the Discord tonight that they needed to get Joey to ship them a lobster if they're able to bring home the checkered flag here tonight. I don't know if he's going to buy that too much, going to be honest with you. Hayes' car rolls down pit road. And we're going flat tracking on a Sunday night. Green flag in the air for the Gelu-KC Select Series here on Turn 1. They make it through Turn 1 just fine. Robin Fanny the third, Joe Hudson, Troy Hayes out 1, 2, 3 single file. It's John Fowler, Joseph Grijalva. They get single filed out as well. This racetrack, very flat racetrack to get around, and it is going to be a battle for these drivers all night to keep the car rotating through the corner, not burning up the tire, finding grip anywhere you could find some grip for all 120 laps. It's all about not overdriving the entry of the corner and being able to just hang on. Do not burn the tires up. Don't get in over your head, but it is going to get really busy back here as they come off of 2. This is a really big opportunity for a passing zone, and the racing line gets tight right there as well. You're going to see a lot of drivers quick to get back to the throttle and get themselves in trouble coming off of Turn 2 here tonight. We see Kevin Stone in the 14 and Joey Jatina side by side. Jatina's going to pick that spot up and get into the 10th or into the top 10. We got cars wrecking on the front stretch. No caution yet. They keep going. That was a pretty big pileup there on the front stretch, collected about 5 cars. The caution stays in the flagman's pocket. We stay green as we see Joseph Grijalva and Logan Koger going at it here. And again, like I mentioned, Grijalva came back last week, looking to take the top spot back in the championship. He's made up some spots last week with that win, but he's still got a long way to go. So we go back out front, the 27. He was fast in practice, and that's turned into qualifying speed for him as well. Out front, 1.4 seconds over Joe Hudson, Troy Haight, John Fowler, Jose Gonzalez, Logan Koger. Now Grijalva He's got Daniel Miller to the inside. Daniel not giving him that spot easily, and he doesn't. He shouldn't have to, as Grijalva's been rotting in that outside line so far. As we see Joey Chatina. You know what? We saw that same move work a couple weeks ago here, all the way down to the apron, and the caution's out. We've got cars wrecked. Back here, slow. This is out. This is in turn 1. That was Trevor Martin spun around. Let's see if we can find out what happened here. Oh, Trevor Martin just drove into the back of the 78 and then just loops it. And then, gets somebody else caught up in the wreck as well. I believe that was Donald Stone, nowhere to go. And that's going to bring the caution out here for the first time tonight. Out front, Robert Freddie III in the 27 car leads at New Hampshire. Let's hear from our partners at Gelu.
Gotta get a Gelu, that's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you. Gotta get a Gelu. So many amazing flavors. Kind of treat that's like no other. A cool place, cool taste, gotta get it. Once you do, your mouth won't forget it. Gelu, gotta get a Gelu, that's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you.
Gotta get a Gelu.
Pace car lights are off and the green flag is back out. The number 27 gets them rolling for the first restart of the night here at New Hampshire. A couple green flag laps on these tires. Not going to make a huge difference just yet, but they're going to take it 3-4 wide there. Definitely 3 back here. Oh, it's going to get tight. Everybody's got to tiptoe through the corner. They survived that one. As we go back out front, we're going to have a challenge for that second place. That's Troy Haight looking underneath Joe Hudson off of 2. Logan Koger up here in the mix as well. Haight now down deep on the inside. That car got tight on drive off, but he's going to slot back in or try to slot back into that third place spot. Not going to quite get it done. Looking back through the rest of the field, everybody's got it rolling here. No drama, no fuss. And that first caution out of the way early here tonight at New Hampshire. Right before that break, you heard me talk about that 14 car. Oh, as he gets a little loose there, trying to avoid contact with trying to avoid contact with Jose Gonzalez. That 14 car, he was down there on the apron into turn 1. We saw that same line work out. Goodness, what was that? Was that Tuesday nights? No, that was Thursday nights. And the caution's out here again. Looking for it. Oh, we've got cars tore up. That's Glenn Campbell, the 44. He was out there running in the top 10. Looks like Josh Freed also may be involved. Let's take a look. Not the normal place for an incident to happen. Oh, no. Nowhere to go for several of those drivers, and it looked like, what was that? The 39 just got tight there, nowhere to go. Got into the back of Glenn Campbell, and that's going to bring the caution out once again. Here on lap 15. In terms of pit strategy, these drivers can go. I think they could just get close to one stop in the race, get to lap 60. These caution laps are certainly going to help that. But the strategy of tires is going to be a factor for a lot of these guys. As a matter of fact, it looks like, we need to flip over to live there because we've got some action down pit road. There it is, and Shannon Woods on pit road. So is Joey Chatina, Scott Formosa, Jacob Melton, Glenn Campbell, obviously Michael Saylor, Ron Holyfield, and others all visiting pit road here. And that was what was my point was going to be. They are going to they are going to be in a position where tires are going to matter here. We'll talk more about that. We're going to step aside for just a moment. You're watching Turn 1. Pace car lights are off, getting ready to get back. Green flag racing. Joe Hudson, Robert Fetty the third out front. They did not come down pit road. The top, oh goodness, it looks like the top 15 all staying out. The first person down pit road is 16th place of Brandon Garan as the green flag back out. Side by side through the corner here on the restart. Joe Hudson hanging on the outside. Or hanging on the, side by side there on the outside, trying to make a move forward. Drives it in deep. The car gets tight. The 27 machine is going to slide back underneath him, but it's going to be a drag race down the front stretch. Hudson sending it in deep down there in turn 3, turn 4. Was his one shot there to potentially get up there and battle for the lead and get some clean air and walk away, but did not work, and that 27 retakes the lead. We look back here fighting for that 4th place spot. That's Troy Haight. Joseph Grijalva sitting in 5th. He's back out in front of Daniel Miller. Here comes Daniel Dye. Dye falls in line behind Miller. Jose Gonzalez, John Fowler, Brent Scott, your top 10. Everybody else here minding their P's and Q's. Brandon Garan looking underneath Frank Zingen. Those two race together quite often. As Garan down on that apron. It's not the first time we've seen that tonight. Some of these drivers using the apron of this racetrack to rotate the car as much as possible. Robert Fanny III now starting to spread that lead. 0.5 of a second, nearing 0.6 of a second over Joe Hudson. While we're under green flag conditions, let's take a moment and ride on board. Let's do it with last week's race winner. That's Joseph Grijalva. They are getting racy back here. That's Jose Gonzalez in the 7. The 21 there. I won't call that leaning on each other, but it is about as close as you could possibly get. Troy Hayes sends it off deep on the outside, but Grijalva sends it down low. Trying to pick that spot up. Joe Hudson has fallen back to back to 4th rather. Daniel Miller's up to 3rd, Logan Coger up to 2nd. As we see Grijalva start to split that white line. Putting those left sides down on the apron. Looking for any bits of speed he can find. Gonzalez right to the bumper there of Grijalva as we look back through the rest of the field. Brandon Garan. He is up to 13th. Cruising right along here early. But our leader out front here, 2.2 seconds over Logan Coger. An impressive run so far for Robert Fanny III in the 27 car. Looking through the field here, Grijalva and Gonzalez still side by side. I see Ernie's deep in the chat here tonight. Hello to Ernie's and all the patrons over there. Thanks so much for being on Turn 1 this evening. John Fowler. John has had a rough go of it the last couple weeks. I'm very partial to the John Fowler story. He has just had a rough run as of late, finding himself in a lot of situations and unfortunately not netting a ton of positive result, but right now running 8th. Daniel Dye back here. Oh, he's about to be taken 3 wide. Doug Roth, Kevin Stone underneath him. Stone says, boys, y'all can have that. I am not interested. Doug Roth in that 43 STP Richard Petty tribute car. Drives it in deep there. They do take him 3 wide. Kevin Stone in the middle. He gets clear of the 78. An impressive move for a pass there. As Kevin Stone drives by. Wow, going wide is Daniel Dye on the outside. Going back up front here for just a second. It's Daniel Miller and Logan Coger side by side. Miller is caught up with that 48 car, and they're even down the backstretch. Coger's going to give up that 3rd place spot, and Joe Hudson He's going to get a good drive off the corner here. As we see Daniel Miller now up to second place. I see Joey Jatina down pit road. I don't think that was scheduled. No, he was not down pit road. Rather, that was just where he was on track triggering it. That's okay. He did not come down. Meanwhile, the 27 out front just hanging on to a basically a 2-2 lead here. He's got no pressure out back at the moment. Kevin Stolen up to 9th, Doug Roth 10th, Brandon Grand's running 11th, and he is on the flat down there in 1 and 2. All right, let's ride on board with the one car. Let's see this really exciting line down here on the other end of the racetrack. Oh, we're not going to get to see it. Cautions out. Zach Faldy involved, and he is spun around on the front stretch. That Columbia paint scheme. Ooh, I like that car. I like that. That's a very interesting livery on that machine. Let's take a look what happened to Zach Faldy. Off the corner, and yep, that is, we typically see that quite a bit. Oh, and nowhere to go for that car underneath him, but we typically see that down there on 1 and 2. He's going to spin up here in 3 and 4, and that's going to bring the caution out. And as we work lap number 34, we're going to step aside here once again. Pit strategy. Who comes down? Who stays out on those older tires? We're going to find out here in just a few moments. You're watching Turn 1. All right, so some pits, some didn't, and we got to have an interesting story on our hands here. Joe Hudson elected to stay out. Trevor Martin also stayed out, but he came down lap number 8. So those that front row on those older tires, but then everybody behind them on 4 new. Let's see how it rolls. Green flag back out. We're back racing here at New Hampshire. Trevor Martin losing a ton of spots. I think he may have spun him there on that outside. Joe Hudson was able to drive away by a couple car lengths, but I don't know how long this is going to last. Here comes the 27 machine. 2 by 2 by 2 as they roll through 3 and 4. Man, that gets tight. Oh, we got the Logan Coger going around. Hits the 43. No. Oh, yeah, I think we had a couple bystanders there, had nowhere to go. This all started back here in turn 4. Went up high on the outside of the 95. He had to check up. And then hooked a left there. Not quite sure what happened. That is going to bring out another caution here as Joe Hudson survives another one. But when does he come down and take tires? That's going to be the question. Working caution number 4 here, lap number 39 at New Hampshire. Let's take one more moment. We'll step aside again here. Joe Hudson on those older tires leads. You're watching Turn 1. Another restart coming up here at New Hampshire, and the 27 car will be out front once again. Our leader for most of the night so far came into tonight out of practice really quick, picked up the pole, and has led a large number of laps out front. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing, the 27, the 29, the 46, the 95, and the 7 is your top 5. Green flag back out. The 27 gets him rolling. Daniel Dye. Troy Haight. Side by side. Haight sliding up the racetrack. Has to slow up a little bit there. They're still even as they head off into 3. Oh, Grijalva spins. Doug Roth involved. A ton of damage on the nose of the 21. And they're still wrecking. I am not quite sure what happened here. Let's look. Oh, Grijalva deep to the outside wall. That almost looks like he got pushed in there pretty hard. You see the blue car up there on the outside. Oh, no, the 78 just full sent it in there. Nowhere to go, and then he also spins. And that's going to bring the pace car out once again. Doug Roth is going to have to come down pit road. He's going to pit from 7th or 8th place there and get the damage on that 43 car looked at. Let's take a look here at tonight's point standings as they came in to this race. Troy Haight out front, then it's Frank Zingen, Jeremy Rittenberg minus 22 in third, Joey Jatina, and Joseph Grijalva. Had actually gained 2 spots after missing a ton of races, and the win last week brought him up to 5th. So he is in a comfortable position on points. If this we were to move forward with the championship here tonight, all 14 of these drivers would be battling for that trophy. And I tell you what, it is going to be a battle for that trophy here once this is all said and done. I think we've only got about 4 races left before we head to the playoffs here with Sim 500. Let's take a look at the schedule. So next week, we head on out to Daytona Super Speedway Racing under the lights next Sunday night, and then we're off for a week. Head back to Darlington, Bristol, and then Kansas. So after tonight, only 4 races remain before the playoffs start. October 4th at Las Vegas, right here on Turn 1. Cautions breeding cautions here at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire. You get caught back up in the 27 machine. A Ferrari the third. You got Troy Haight into the restart zone. Green flag, back out. Miller again underneath Troy Haight on this restart, side by side. Trying to hold him off there by holding that outside line. Haight able to roll through the corner there much better. As we look back here a little further, that's Kevin Stone, Joey Jatina, Brent Scott, Frank Zingen in this group here. We're looking at this group. Trevor Martin on the roll here. He's up to 7th. He would like to have a solid finish here tonight. Let's ride on board here under these green flag conditions. Let's, you know what? Let's do it with the man himself, the driver of the 71. That's John Fowler as he comes down the backstretch here in New Hampshire. They are most certainly making it look relatively easy under these green flag conditions, but it is not. It is pretty difficult to get around this racetrack as we see the 27 and the 46. They're still within picture of one another. Troy Haight able to hang on since that restart and not see the 27 get too far out front. Only about 5 car lengths separate those two on average. Daniel Miller, Jose Gonzalez, John Fowler has worked himself up to 5th. Joey Jatina's up to 6, is back behind him. That's Kevin Stone. Brent Scott looking like they were going to get a little racy. Then it's Frank Zingen and Scott Formosa. We've got another caution on the racetrack. And that's Brandon Garan spun around. And a very interesting spot. Coming down the backstretch. Let's take a look. Oh, Brandon, not clear there, bud. You know, we talked about how turn 2, the exit of turn 2 is going to get interesting, and well, that's what I mean by that. It's really difficult to work around that corner. It's pretty racy. And actually, that incident right there started all the way back coming out of turn 2. We're closing in on the halfway point tonight here at New Hampshire. Under caution once again. Let's hear from our partners one more time at Gelu Italian Ice.
Gotta get a Gelu, that's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you. Gotta get a Gelu. So many amazing flavors. Kind of treat that's like no other. A cool place, cool taste, gotta get it. Once you do, your mouth won't forget it. Gelu, gotta get a Gelu. That's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you.
Gotta get a Gelu.
Nobody coming down pit road that time by, which I'm kind of surprised about. This would have probably got them very close to making it the whole way. But nonetheless, a lot of these drivers electing to stay out. It's only, well, you know what? I take that back. It's only been about 20 laps or so since they've been down pit road. Green flag back out here. The 27 gets trolling again on a Sunday night. We saw Troy Hayne able to hang on to the bumper of the 27 a little bit there in that last run. Now he's going to drive it hard out to the outside. Here comes Daniel Miller into the picture as well. Hayne deep on the outside, able to hang on to it. The 27 beats him to the line by a quarter of a fender. It is a drag race as they head into one. Hayne gets tight. That's going to check up Miller. Miller gonna have to tuck back in line. They get single filed out. Joey Jatina up here in the top 5. Then it's John Fowler, Brent Scott back behind him, and Kevin Stone, Frank Zinga, Daniel Dye. The 78 car has been all up and down the running order and found himself in a couple precarious situations. Back up here in the top 10. They get racy off the corner. Let's go up here and take a look. It looks like Jose Gonzalez, Troy Hayne now going at it. Did Troy overdrive or get those tires too hot and overdrive that right rear? He is starting to lose time to the leader. It's very easy to get these Goodyears entirely too hot and lose a ton of time. And Now the 27 car, almost a full second back out front after the restart. Seeing it back here in 10th, Logan Koger looking to the outside. Another driver who was in the thick of it earlier was Koger, and he's raced himself back into the top 10. As Troy Haight now, ooh, he's diamonding off the corner, but almost looks like he's overdriving the entry a little bit. 1.2 seconds now out back behind our leader in the 27 car. While we've got under green flag conditions here. Let's take another opportunity to ride around. Let's do that. The driver of the 17, that is Kevin Stone as he takes a couple laps here in New Hampshire. Guys getting pretty racy back here behind Kevin Stone. He gets back up off the corner. Running 8th as we go out front. Gonzalez and Daniel Miller. Still battling one another here. Troy Haight has fallen all the way back to 5th. Brent Scott's running 6th. John Fowler running 7th. Kevin Stone, Daniel Dye, Logan Koger round out the top 10 here as we're past halfway for tonight's Gelu-KC Select Series race on turn 1. I'm Sean Fitz. Thanks so much for being here. It's been an interesting night. We had a couple of cautions under our belts. These drivers have been really going at it pretty hard. Everybody trying to find their way in this very flat New Hampshire racetrack. It's very easy to overdrive the corner. We've seen many drivers do that so far. Chatina here now running up onto the back bumper of Jose Gonzalez. This is about the time we see that 14 car get things figured out in the race and start driving forward. Keep in mind, we will still have to see them come down pit road. I believe at least, well, we'll have to see them come down for fuel here. One more stop before the end of the night. They'll be wanting tires a little quicker than that, obviously. That'll be the story for a lot of these drivers as these cars start to fade since their pit stops. Most of our top 10 down pit road lap number 34. So even though there's been a rash of cautions there, we're approaching the longest green flag run of the night, being this one right here. This is a battle back here. This is back here for 11th, 12th, 13th is Dye, Campbell, Martin get racy. As Jose Gonzalez is going to fall back to 4th. That was Joey Chatina that got him around, or got back around him. Joey into the top 3 for the first time tonight. come down the backstretch there. That's Troy Haight and Gonzalez. They're side by side. Haight has been up here in the top 5 and battling. We saw him up there really giving pressure to the 27, but now starting to fall off. Looks like that handling on that car maybe starting to slide away from him a little bit. Logan Koger here working around Shannon Wood. Those two are tight through 3 and 4. This is about the time in the run where we find out who has been overdriving the car, who feels very confident about what they've got, and who's saved some tire, who's not overheated the car, overheated the right rear a whole lot. Again, we're working the longest green flag run of the night. Coming back to the stripe here, lap number 70. The 27 car out front led the most laps so far tonight and has really been in a class of his own. Not a whole lot of, nobody else really having a whole lot for him. He was down pit road about on lap number 34. We'll see. I think we'll have to see these guys come down for at least a splash. I don't think anybody's going to have enough to make it the whole way. I could be wrong about that. These cautions could have got them there, but I don't see that being the case, especially now that we've got this longer green flag run. And these guys, these cars are shifting. You hear them downshifting to 4th as they work through the corner and then drive off. So they are certainly getting after it, trying to get the corner off speed, get the car to grip up. Well, those higher RPMs and that 4th to 5th place, and that 4th gear to 5th gear transition and shift is that's going to actually burn more fuel. The higher in the RPMs these cars are, the more fuel they're going to burn. You know, something to note here, we saw the 27 car get out front, but Daniel Miller is starting to run faster lap times. Last time by, let's take a look at it again here. Maybe it was a fluke. The 27 ran a 30.52, but Daniel Miller ran a 30.48, and then the lap before that, Miller was a 10th faster than our leader. Maybe finding a little bit of speed here as the longer run goes on. They're spread out, but then we look back here. This is Daniel Dye, Brandon Garand, Mark Schrader. They're 3 wide as they head off into 3. Garand all the way down on the apron, trying to get the grip in that car to work. Scott Formosa has got a rear view mirror of Mark Schrader, Daniel Dye battling for 15th. They make it work, but man, that was sporty on the other end of the racetrack. Schrader now working underneath Formosa. Trying to pick that spot up. They get a little tight off the corner there. We were talking about that gap from the 27 to the 23 of Daniel Dye. Well, it's now down to 1. It was down to 1.1. By the way, we've got our first top 5 pit stop coming out of Troy Haight. He is down pit road to the attention of his crew. Green flag pit stops potentially kicking off here with Troy Haight coming down pit road. Another driver down, that's Jason White, not on the lead lap. He stays out, or he comes down pit road. Not going to lose a ton of positions there, so you might as well come But Daniel Miller rather, holding that 1.2 second gap. That long run speed in the 23 materializing here as they're working lap number 78. Some Sunday night Gelu-KC Select Series racing action here on turn 1. Shannon Wood, John Fowler, side by side. Wood's going to slide by on the inside. Fowler's going to let him go. That is for 6th. As we look back a little further here, again, that's Mark Schrader, Brandon Garan. Not a bad run for the 67 of Schrader here tonight. Could be a net positive if he can squeak out a top 10 here. Now keep in mind too, this racetrack is a very technical racetrack here at New Hampshire. We may not necessarily be done with the cautions. He's got chances to potentially get into that top 10 through some pit strategy or other calls. Beyond Troy Haight coming down pit road, nobody else is really nobody else is taking the dive here in the top 10. I see we got Frank Zingen down pit road. Frank pit from, I think it was about 14. But there is our leader. Speaking of having somebody pit from the top 10, the leader himself comes down pit road. That's the 27 car. To the attention of his crew for what will likely be the last pit stops of the night. Now that's going to cycle the lead to the 23. When does he come down? You cannot let those tires get too far out on you. He's going to stay out another lap. So is Joey Jatina. He's moved up to 2nd. Gonzalez has moved up to 3rd. John Fowler, he's down on the apron. He gets that car slowed up. Fowler coming to the attention of his crew. Logan Koger's going to join him. We've got action down pit road here as we're working less than 40 to go. Now Daniel Miller's going to hit pit road. Locks him up, a puff of smoke out of the 23. Lynn Campbell's going to join him, so is Kevin Stone. They'll come down pit road. New leader here of the 14 car of Joey Jatina. Joey's going to stay out another lap. So again, everybody else going to hang tight as, wow, they fan out hard. 3 wide. That's Josh Reed from Oza. Joe Hudson's in this mix. 3 wide on the corner, and the caution's out. And I believe that was Logan Koger spun around, and it was. Let's take a look. That's right there off of turn 4. Oh, just gets too much into it with the wheel still turned left, and that's going to bring the caution out again, and this is going to reset everything. Everybody that hasn't come yet is going to be able to do so. Under caution, we're going to step aside. We'll hear from our partners one more time at Gelu.
Gotta get a Gelu, that's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you. Gotta get a Gelu. So many amazing flavors. Kind of treat that's like no other. A cool place, cool taste, gotta get it. Once you do, your mouth won't forget it. Gelu, gotta get a Gelu, that's what I'm gonna do. Wanna get it with you.
Gotta get a Gelu.
They get ready to go back. Green flag racing the 27. Out front, everybody's got those new tires. Who can do what with them? Laps are winding down as they go back to green flag racing. About 32 to go. '27 out front, free and clear. Daniel Miller, Joey Jatina, Troy Haight rather. Fourth, Sprint Scott fifth, and these new tires. We got a car in the wall. Who was that? That was Joe Hudson. He's sideways down the front stretch. Caution out, everybody trying to avoid him. That's going to bring the caution out here once again. Lap number 90. Keep in mind, most of these drivers took their last set of tires here this last pit stop, so everybody likely going to stay out here as we're under caution once again at New Hampshire. Another restart getting ready to happen here with the 27, the 23, the 14, the 46. Green flag back out here. They're going to get pretty racy. Here comes Joey Zatina underneath Daniel Miller. Another caution out. We've got cars spun here in a couple different places. Some folks trying to take evasive maneuvers. And that is Trevor Martin spun around. That's coming out of turn 2. to the corner there was pretty clear, and then just loops it right there. Then everybody has to split up there. Martin getting loose, coming off the corner. Going to bring caution number 9 out for the night. We're working lap number 95 here on turn 1. Short tracks and short tempers. Everybody's getting a little chippy here as the laps are winding down. They're going to go back green flag racing with about 24 to go. Pace car down pit road. The 27's led a large number of laps here tonight. And he's going to take him back to the green flag and the lead. Pretty solid run out front for the 14 car of Jatina, and another caution out. Let's take a look. Looks like this may be Donald Stone, I believe. Trying to find it. There we go. A little too hard there into one. Oh, and then collects. I believe that's Joe Hudson. He got collected. There it is. Yeah, there's going to be some frustrated folks here tonight as they continue to see the laps dwindle away. They're going to go back green flag racing with less than 20 to go here for the Sim 500 Gelu Select Cup Series on turn 1. Getting ready to go back. Green flag racing here. The 27. Gets him rolling off. Daniel Miller now underneath the 14. Single file, the top 5. Does the 23 have what it takes to get up there, maybe get past the 27 car? Under caution here once again. Again off of turn 2. That was involving the 44. Glenn Campbell, they were 3 wide back here. Oh, that's not going to work. Hard impact. And then Campbell across the track, nearly taking the nose off of Frank Zingen. And continued cautions here. The story of the night at New Hampshire. Next week, we head to Daytona, as I mentioned here, on Sunday night. Super Speedway racing at its finest with this group right here on turn 1 next Sunday evening. Joey Jattina, for a second there, teasing like he was going to go down pit road. Behind the pace car, once again here at New Hampshire. You're watching turn 1. They're going to see the 1-to-go sign from the pace driver here as they come back around and getting ready to go back. Green flag racing. Lap 107. Looking over on the YouTube chat here tonight. Appreciate everybody for being here. I know this is a not ideal situation with the cautions, but hey, sometimes it be like that. You know what I mean? Looking over. Oh, yeah, look at that chat. Dalton, you're not wrong. I am sure the 14 is riled up and telling these guys to get it figured out. I mean, it's so easy to overdrive the corners. I absolutely get, you know, how complex it can be here at New Hampshire or tracks like New Hampshire. But on the other hand, because it's very easy to understand it can happen, means you should be taking a little bit more precaution. We're going to see the pace car duck down pit road. The 27, the 23, the 33, the 14, the 46, your top 5. Another restart. Green flag back out. Speaking of the 14, he's going to dive it in there pretty deep underneath the 23, try to make it stick on corner exit. The top 10 make it out of turn 2. Back to the stripe here. They come. 13 to go. This battle back here, that's Grand Haight. You see, that's Brent Scott there. That's shiny number 33 car. He's up 16 spots on the night. This would be a big come up for Brent Scott. As we look at second place 14 and 23 battle it out here. 12 to go. They know that the 27's got the pace. This is going to be the race here. Into the top three. And Brent Scott says he wants some of it. Looking out the windshield. Another caution out on the racetrack. It looks like Zach Foudy involved here again. That car pretty tore up. Foudy gets it looped around. I believe this is coming off of 2. Here it is. Oh, really just looped it out. Oh, and Sean Fowler involved. I imagine a frustrated John Fowler there is. He can't catch anything, including a break. Let's run our caution here once again. Brent Scott playing chicken with that pit road line. The story of the night has been this 27 machine. We take a look here at our lap leaders for tonight. We've only had 4, and the 27 has led 97 of our completed laps. So an impressive, dominating performance here. Like I mentioned, he picked up the pole. He was the fastest in practice, and all eyes were out front. And the 27 car is less than 10 laps away from a victory here tonight at New Hampshire. About to see another restart come to life here. That's going to be, that's going to be 8 to go. The 27 gets him rolling. The 14 sends it in there deep. Jatina sends it in there underneath the 23, and he's going to park it on the nose. Jatina moves up to second. Three wide back here for 5th. Brandon Grand in the middle of it all. That's Brent Scott, Shannon Wood on, looking out the windshield with all this chaos going down. Troy Hayden was in the middle of that, and now we back up here to the second place run. That's Miller underneath the 14 car. Daniel Miller getting back around Jatina here as they come back to the stripe. That's 6 to go. We've got cars wrecking again on the front stretch. That's Kevin Stone involved, I believe. I saw. Yeah, Stone spun there. Let's take a look, find out what happened with the 17 car. That is with the 80 of Formosa. And that narrow straightaway there, just very difficult to get out of the way or find a place to go when the track is blocked. And the 27 is going to have to survive another restart. This time it'll be less than 4 to go. We're going to step aside one more time. You're watching Turn 1. This is going to be very close to, well, I mean, it is going to be a green-white checkered here. But it's going to be in regulation. Green flag back out. 2 to go. Chatina is going to send it underneath the 23 once again. Try to make it stick on the bottom. Garant slides by for 4th. Grant now down to the inside of the 14. They're door to door. White flag is out. One more time around. Can the 27 make it happen? Out to the wall. Daniel Miller goes. He's at risk of losing that spot now. Chatina underneath the 1. That's going to be a race there, but he's going to take the sweep. The 27 of Robert Fanny's going to win here tonight. Daniel Miller is going to finish 2nd. And Brandon Garant is going to edge out Joey Chatina for a top 3. Brent Scott's going to finish 5th. Jose Gonzalez, Troy Hay, Josh Freed, Daniel Dye, Shannon Wood, your top 10. And with that, we're going to step aside for one more moment here. We'll get ready to bring some post-race coverage to you as the 27 car sweeps the pole and the checkered flag here at New Hampshire. As the 27 car burns it down on the front stretch, let's quickly grab Daniel Miller there. Daniel, a pretty interesting night on the racetrack. Up 10 spots from the qualifying effort. It looked like you had a pretty solid piece and may have had something for the 27 in the long run.
Yeah, that was my thoughts. I was doing much better on the long runs than everyone else on the track was, but that obviously didn't happen tonight. A lot of cautions, but summed it up with a good finish.
Daniel, we saw you really battling it out with the 14 of Joey Jatina and you guys trading it back and forth there on those restarts. How intense was that battle from the driver's seat perspective, especially on that exit of turn 2 and that second to last caution where he really sent it in there and got clear on the nose?
Yeah, that was some fun racing between me and him. We were going at it for a few restarts there. He would send it in to the corner, I'd get it back. But yeah, it was good close racing.
Well, listen, Daniel, thanks so much for the time tonight. Congratulations on a well hard fought P2 here at New Hampshire.
Yep, thank you very much.
And with that, we'll quickly grab the number 1 of Brandon Garan, who got into the top 3 there in basically the last quarter. Brandon, it was an up and down night for you in the 1. Did you feel like you were going to find yourself in a top 3 situation at the end of this thing, say 40 laps ago?
Not top 3. I thought maybe we could get up to the top 5 at least. I'd be pushing it because, like you said, up and down night. Started off decent. Then I caught myself speeding on pit road, so then that put me behind. Got involved in a couple accidents, and then, yeah, just was in the wrong place because of my own misfortune of speeding, and then kind of got lucky with the barrage of cautions there, and yeah, got lucky to get up here on the podium. And it's just I was just aiming for a solid points night after missing a few races, and just trying to get above that cut line as best I can.
Yeah, Brandon, it certainly seemed like you were trying to pad the points tonight, but obviously a lot going on the track. What do these restarts do to you tonight, and how did you have to, what were you having to work through to navigate them? Obviously, it brought the field back together, and we've seen you back there battling pretty hard at times, but what did it mean for you every time this you having to look ahead and potentially deal with another restart?
As I got more towards the front of the field, you kind of know everybody that's up there, so you feel a little bit more comfortable. But when you're in the back, there's like, that's not that everybody's like a bad driver. It's just more in the back. You're in desperation mode to try to get to the front where you can get that clean air and maneuver a little bit easier. So it gets a little chaotic in the back, especially when we're having restart after restart, and then you're getting the cycle on the temperatures of the tires, and it's just, yeah, like you said, the main word you could use is chaos, and it's just surviving that, and that's kind of what we did. And then we got to the front towards the end and took advantage of where we restarted there in that last one. I didn't know, like, I kept going inside, outside. I didn't know which lane was firing better, but it seemed that I could fire better off the bottom. So yeah, a little lucky there, and we got a good drive off on the restart, and just lucky enough to get up on the side of Joey, and we bumped a little bit, but I mean, that's kind of New Hampshire passing. I watched Denny Hamlin do it all day today, so it's not like I drove it. I didn't drive it in there to take him out, but you know, you have so much rear
every now and
yeah,
again.
you have so much rear brake in this car where you can't just slam on them, so you're kind of letting it roll in and it's bouncing. And yeah, I never got like a 2x or a 0x, so I didn't hit him that hard, but I know we did touch a little bit.
Well, Brandon, listen, congratulations. You really turning it up here over the last couple weeks and all sorts of different types of equipment and over here at Sim 500. Congratulations on the top 3, and we appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thanks for the broadcast, and as always, you know, I'm going to thank my 2 kids for letting me race, Bryce and Brody. But other than that, we'll see you next week, buddy.
Brandon Garan's going to finish 3rd here tonight at New Hampshire. Let's quickly grab the winner of tonight's race. That's Rob Brady III. He's able to bring it home here tonight. And maybe I told Rob, I told Joey that, you know, he needed to be sending the winner a lobster. We need to get a shipping address over to him. Do you think he can make that happen?
Yeah, lobster would be pretty good, actually.
You look like you were, I mean, obviously you were fastest in practice, you picked up the pole, and then just dominated, led all but, I think all but, what was it, 7 or 8 laps total. Walk me through your night in the 27 car. We saw that longer green flag run, but first, what do these restarts mean to you, and how were you able to just keep the car out front so comfortably tonight?
The key, I think, really is just not overdriving the entry. If you can get into the corner under control, you basically have control of the car from the middle off. And so many guys, I mean, I was hearing it on the radio, so many guys were overshooting the corners. And I think between the entries of running into people and the exit probably of turn 2 is where most of the cautions happened. However, I didn't see any of them, but I'm only guessing because I know those are the problem areas.
Yeah, it definitely was the drive off of 2 being the primary culprit here tonight. What did that longer green flag run turn into? It looked like you and the 23 of Daniel Miller it kind of plateaued and matched pace there for a little bit. Then he started to gain ever so slightly on that green flag run. Were you starting to get a little concerned about the car, or was that you just in conservation mode knowing you had that 1+ second gap out front?
Yeah, I was honestly running as fast as I needed to stay in front of second place. I mean, I could have pushed it more, but there's no reason to at that point because the tires aren't going to stay under you. And when you beat up the right front, you're going to get in trouble. So I just ran as hard as I had to run to keep a gap and, not have to constantly worry about my rearview mirror. I just kept eyes forward.
Comes back to Sunday nights and then leaves a winner here tonight at New Hampshire. Rob, thanks for the time tonight and congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the thank you for the sponsor, Gelu-KC, and thanks for all that you guys do.
Yeah, Robert Ferry bringing it home here tonight at New Hampshire. And with that, we're going to wrap up race coverage. A long one in the books, but to next week, we head to Daytona. Super Speedway racing under the lights on a Sunday night. I'm Sean Fitz. Have a great night, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.